Guys, so today I'm going to be showing you, I don't know how many products I have, but I'm going to be showing you some high-end products that I think are worth trying. And I try out high-end products a lot just because I have little wiggle room spending-wise. And I really like, oh my god, sorry, my eye's itchy. And I really like high-end products. Disclaimer number one. Sorry if I sound congested or like my nose looks red because I think I'm getting sick or it's like allergies or something. And disclaimer number two, I have bought all of this stuff with my own money. So I just wanted to put that out there. So starting off with eyeshadow palettes. This is like one of the number one things all of my friends ask me is like, what kind of eyeshadow do you use? Because eyeshadow palettes are really, really expensive, and I think it's important to do your research before you buy any product at all. So I have three eyeshadow palettes to show you. Two of them are from the same brand and are very similar. So those are the Lorac palettes, and I have both the Pro 1 and the Pro 2, and Lorac is definitely my favorite eyeshadow brand. I think their quality is great, and especially their Pro palettes, they're great because they give you all matte shades on the top and all shimmery shades on the bottom. So depending on whether or not you like warmer or cooler tones, that would differentiate the type of palette you would get. So if you like more warmer tones, like me, I would suggest the Lorac Pro 1 palette. And if you like cooler shades, then I would suggest the Pro 2. And if you're like me, and you just love eyeshadow, I would get both of them. Okay, so I remember when the first palette came out, I was like, oh my gosh, I need that in my life. So I saved up all my money, and I got it. And then when the second one came out, I was like, oh my god. So I got that too. And I'm still kind of salty that I didn't get the Mega Pro. Anyway, so I really suggest Lorac eyeshadows. If you have, like, if you want a high-end palette, these are definitely, like, my number one suggestion. Because they just give you everything you need. Like, I've literally traveled for, like, a week and a half, and all I brought was either one or both of these palettes. I don't think you need both, unless you're, like, obsessed with makeup like I am. Like, if you definitely love warmer tones, definitely get the first one, and if you like cooler tones, definitely get the second one. But they definitely just give you basic neutrals that is like every color you could ever need. So I highly, highly, highly recommend these eyeshadows. So the second eyeshadow palette that I highly recommend is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. And this it smells like chocolate, number one. Oh my god, I think I just got some on my nose. So it smells like chocolate, and it again has like a big mirror and basic neutrals. This, I go through phases. I either use the Lorac palettes or I'll use this palette. And this is definitely more warmer tones. I know they came out with the second one, the semi-sweet one, which is more cooler tones, but this one is definitely more warmer tones. And I think this is very versatile, and you get all the colors you could need, and fun pops color like the purple. But I'd say if you're gonna splurge, definitely go for the Lorac palettes if they're available to you. This is great too, but it's also more expensive, so Lorac is the way to go, man. So then, sticking on that eyeshadow train, something that is so, so, so important with any makeup application is having your skin prepared and ready for the makeup that you're about to put on it. So something that I highly recommend to anybody, whether you have oily skin, dry skin, or normal skin, definitely get an eyeshadow primer. Especially if you have oily skin, I would say get this one, which is the Nars. I think it's like the smudge proof shadow base or something. This is gonna keep your eyeshadow on literally all day and probably until the next day. This is the only thing I use. I swear by it. I used to use the Urban Decay primer potion, but then I noticed that started creasing on me too. So if you want like maximum length of your eyeshadows, definitely get this primer. And this primer paired with the MAC paint pot, it doesn't matter what color you use, but a MAC paint pot and this together is, your eyeshadow will stay on for like literally 4 days. It's insane. So if you need an eyeshadow primer, especially if you're oily, definitely get the Nars one. So I highly recommend that. And then for concealer, it's definitely not necessary to get an high-end concealer, because I think there are some great ones at the drugstore, like the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, or the Dream Lumi Touch, or the L'Oreal True Match. Like, there's a bunch of great concealers at the drugstore. But if you want a high-end concealer, I highly recommend the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. For me personally, this is the only concealer that covers up my dark circles under my eyes unless I use like a corrector. I honestly only use this for special occasions or if I'm filming, because it's expensive. It's $29 for a concealer, and that's a little crazy. And concealer is something that you buy pretty frequently, you go through pretty fast. So if you want a high-end concealer for like special occasions and it just makes you look flawless, I recommend this one. This is good for your under eyes, but it's also good to cover up blemishes, and it just has a really great texture, so I highly recommend this. Moving on to the cheeks. So I have 3 highlighters because highlighters are my favorite thing, and they don't have a lot of highlighter options at the drugstore. So all of the ones I get are high-end. And I think my number 1 favorite, I think would be most suited for all skin tones, is the Balm's Mary Luminizer. And this is it, and it's just so pretty. It's a champagne color. It is intense, man. Like, a little bit goes such a long way with this. It's right there. Do you see how that, like, reflects the light? Like, I wore this in my March favorites, and I've just been, like, this was the first highlighter I ever bought, and it's my favorite. Like, I still love it. And you can find the Balm at Kohl's, and I don't know where else you can find it. You could go online and order it, but this is just, it's like a very, very intense highlight. So if you don't want an intense highlight, I don't recommend this. But if you want something that's gonna like, bam, glow, I highly recommend this. And, you know, like a little bit goes such a long way, so it's worth the investment. Like, I've had this for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and I'm not even close to hitting pan on it. There's a few indents in it because I've like dropped it a few times, or like my finger got stuck in it, but it literally, a little bit goes such a long way, and it's really worth the money for this. Like, the Balm is such a great brand, like all around, so I highly recommend anything from that brand. And my next highlighter favorite, which is also a very intense highlight, is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Moonstone. And Moonstone is the best one for pale skin. Opal is for like more medium skins, or like if you're like not fair, I highly recommend Opal. But Moonstone is just like the way to go for you pale girls. This again is very, very intense. It's right there. Like, this is the Mary Luminizer, and this is Opal. Like, you can see it's a lot more lighter in shade right there. And I also highly recommend the liquid version of this. The liquid version isn't as intense and gives you just like a nice natural glow, and I just got this recently and I love it, and I want to get the pearl one too. So I highly recommend these 2. And my last highlighter, which is something that I think would be suited for anybody, especially brides if you're getting married, highly, highly recommend this. It is the Hourglass Luminous Light Ambient Lighting Powder. And this just gives you like such a natural glow from within. It's very subtle, but it still like gives you a glow. It's like right, you can't even see it. Hold on. And it's buildable, which is nice. And I just, out of all the ambient lighting powders, like, they're very expensive, but they're so worth it because, again, a little bit goes such a long way. So it's right here. I built it up. That's why it looks a little bit more intense. But honestly, if you just use the littlest amount, it makes you look like you're glowing from within, and it gives such a natural glow. So if you're looking for, like, a less intense highlight, unlike the past 2 I just mentioned, I highly recommend that Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Luminous Light. And then my last 2 products, which are the same thing, they're just different colors, are the Balm In-Stain Blushes. And I have these in the shade Argyle and Toil. And these are just, the packaging is so cute. It's like little magazine cover, and I don't know, like, these blushes literally last all freaking day. And again, I've had these for a really long time and barely even like hit pan on them. So, but like, they're so pigmented, and it's like a powder stain. They stain your cheeks, which is insane. I've never even heard of that. But I love these 2 shades. My mom loves these blushes too. I don't know what color she has, but she has like a mauve one. But on top is is Argyle, which is a lighter pink. And on the bottom is Toil, which is like a coral color. And They last all day. I love them so much. I highly recommend them. And a little bit goes a long way, so they're definitely worth the hype. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it helped you in some way. And let me know down below if you've tried any of these products, if you love them, what your recommendations are. Because I just got rid of a bunch of makeup and I'm trying to restock on some stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much and I'll see you next time. Bye!